Good morning, welcome to day 10 of Vlogmas. So it's Sunday the 10th of December. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning here and my house is very quiet at the moment because my husband and children just left. They are heading up to our church to go to the church service this morning and I would normally go with them, but today I'm actually going out for the day with my sister. We're going Christmas shopping today. So that should be really nice. We try and carve one day out every year in the run up to Christmas to do a bit of Christmas shopping, and we'll have lunch out together, probably a cup of tea along the way too. We definitely need to get a couple of bits to my mum. So yeah, it should be a really nice day. So I'm going to film this and then in a little bit I'm going to head out up to the train station and meet her at the train station, and we'll get the train to the local town to do some shopping. So it should be a nice day and really Christmassy. Hopefully there'll be the lights will be out there and that sort of thing. So I'm looking forward to a day of shopping with my sister. But yes, I thought I'd pop on at first before I head out and fill you in on what Elf was up to in the night and what I'm wearing and that sort of thing. So I'll start off with what we found Elf up to when we came down this morning. My daughter is still so excited every morning. She's pretty much jumping out of bed and coming to find us to go and find what Elf's up to, which is really lovely. So this morning we came down and we found an arrow pointing in the direction of where Elf was. And we found arrows made out of these sort of wooden bricks. And we found Elf had seemed to have made himself or built himself a little pool with a very high diving board. So I'll put a picture up. As you can see, he used some more of the wooden bricks. So I guess the arrow with the wooden bricks was a bit of a clue. He'd used the wooden bricks to construct a swimming pool. And then for the water, he'd used blue Lego bricks. So it didn't look like the most comfortable place to land from a dive, but he looked like he was ready to jump. He was there on the diving board with his arms out, ready to go. So yeah, my children helped him jump into the pool and he did seem to enjoy it. And then a few other toys had a go too. So yeah, that was what Elf's up to. Another quite thrilling activity for him. He's obviously enjoying a few different high thrill activities, climbing, diving, all sorts. So yeah, that is what we found Elf up to this morning. So we'd obviously been quite resourceful using different bricks we had about the house to set up his little swimming pool. So that was what Elf was up to. And then in terms of what I'm wearing today, well, it's due to be a bit of a rainy day today. It's not too bad at the moment, so I think I'll be fine on the walk to the station. But I'm definitely going to take an umbrella with me because I think it's going to rain quite a bit later. So I thought I'd wear skirts and a tight rather than jeans that might get a bit wet and then not dry out as easily. So I've got a handmade sweatshirt and a handmade skirt. So the sweatshirt is a pattern that I was talking about earlier in Vlogmas. I wore the dress version of this pattern earlier in Vlogmas in like a red quilted fabric. It is this pattern here, the South Bank sweater and sweater dress pattern by Nina Lee. Yeah, I really love this pattern. It's got this sort of cosy stand-up sort of funnel neckline, a slightly dropped shoulder, quite slim fitting arms with little cuffs, and 3 different options. And the option I'm wearing today is this cropped version here. And when I bought this pattern originally, I sort of bought it particularly with my eye on the sweater dress, but actually the versions I wear most of this South Bank sweater pattern are these cropped versions. I've got 2 of them in the same fabric in different colourways. So the version I'm wearing today, as you can see, is the black colourway of this fabric. And if I hold it up, you can see it's got these little flecks in it. It's quite a pretty fabric. It's a fleece back sweatshirting fabric and it's called Cozy Colours Sweatshirt Fleece. And I think various different online fabric shops sell it, but I was having a look just before I came on and there's definitely some of the black in stock at Guthrie Garney, so I'll link that down below. But there are loads of different colourways. There's like a mustard, there might be a teal, a pretty berry colour, all sorts. So you probably find different colours on different fabric shops if you have a search around for Cozy Colours fleece back sweatshirt. But it's quite a lightweight fleece back sweatshirt, which I think works quite well as a layering piece, so hopefully I won't get too hot when we're going around the shops if we're inside. So yeah, I've got one of these in this black colourway and also the navy colourway. And I just find they just work so well with so many different things in my wardrobe. They work quite well with like a high-waisted pair of jeans, but I mostly wear them with different skirts because where they sort of fall to is just around the skirt waistband. So I think they look quite nice paired together. I don't have to tuck them in. So it doesn't, if I've got a kind of fairly tightly fitting skirt, it's not an extra layer to tuck it. It just kind of sits quite nicely there. I'll stand a bit so you can see. So yeah, that's what I've got on top. And like I mentioned earlier in Vlogmas, I make the size 8 of the South Bank sweater which it was my size on the waist. I guess the hips isn't really too critical for this short version, and one size larger than me on the bust. But actually, I think it's not like a really oversized sweatshirt by any means. So actually, there's not a huge amounts of room even in this one size too big, but there's plenty of room still to be able to pop under a t-shirt. I've just got a plain black t-shirt underneath in case I get a bit too hot. I can pull this off. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing on top. And then the skirt I'm wearing, I made using one of my favourite skirt patterns, which I've got here. Is this one here, is the estuary skirt pattern by So Liberated. It's a really lovely skirt pattern. I think really versatile because you can make it in lots of different lengths, and it works really well in different lengths. But I've made mostly the a sort of mini length version. But it's got a sort of flat fronted waistband and an elastic at the back, and it's got quite a full actual swishy skirt to it, and it's got a button down front, and you can add on patch pockets, or there's also an inseam pocket pattern piece too. That's a bit of a tongue twister. So a couple of different pocket options. But it's really comfy to wear because of the elastic at the back, but I quite like the look of the flat front. So yeah, and it comes together really nicely, this pattern. I've made a few. I have most of mine I've made in like a viscose fabric, so it's very lightweight and swishy. But actually the one I'm wearing today I made in a cotton, and it's an ikat cotton that I bought quite a while ago now when I did a purchase from Itokri. I bought a few different cotton ikat fabrics. I made a few different garments out of the fabrics, which I love wearing. I remember before I made the order, I'd seen quite a lot of people making things out of ikat cotton on Instagram, and I really loved the look of the fabric, so I was very excited to be able to order a few myself and turn them into some garments. And yeah, the one I've got on today is really fun. I'll stand up a bit so you can see the print. This print makes me feel, well, I guess it's not a print actually because it's woven in, so it's not printed on because it's like you can see it's woven in on both sides. But yeah, I love this sort of design on this fabric. Although it's not actually a Christmas fabric, it makes me feel a bit Christmassy because I think the big white spots make me think of snowballs. So yeah, this skirt gives me a Christmassy vibe, even though it's kind of in monochrome colours. And so yeah, it's lovely actually. I think because it's like a cotton fabric, this skirt has a little bit more volume than my viscose one, so it hangs a bit more in like a this shape rather than my viscose ones, which hang more in like a this shape and sort of hang straight down. This one goes out a little bit more, so it gives it a slightly different shape, which I quite like. And for this version, I actually decided to make it without the buttons down the front. So the button placket you don't really need to actually have working buttonholes at all on this placket. It's kind of like a faux placket, or you can make it as a faux placket because you can just use the elastic to get the skirt on and off, so you don't really need to undo the buttons. So it's quite an easy one to sort of switch out the button placket and just cut a kind of flat piece on the front, like on the fold, rather than adding the button placket in, and make it into a slightly different looking skirt. And I thought with these big sort of spots, it might be quite hard to get the placket all lined up with the spots, so I thought it would look nicer just with one piece of fabric at the front. So that's what I did for this skirt. So I'll put up a picture so you can see what it looks like on. It's a really nice, comfy outfit to wear. I feel nice and cosy in it, and it'll be perfect for just sort of, heading around the shops with my sister. So that is what I'm wearing today. And I'll link the Itokri website down below in case you fancy having a browse. They always have lots of lovely cotton ikat designs in stock, as well as lots of other very pretty fabrics too. So it's definitely a fun website to have a look at. One thing I would mention about the cotton ikat fabrics from my experience is they are a little bit more loosely woven than say a cotton lawn. So I have found when I've been cutting them out, they do fray a little bit. So whenever I've sewn with them, with the cotton ikat garments that I've made, I've done French seams just to give like a really nice robust finish to the seams. I think probably an overlocker would be fine too, but I just wanted to really make them last as long as possible, and I thought that would give a really nice finish as well. So yeah, I just took a bit of time doing French seams on them. And the cotton is quite lightweight, so the seams don't end up too bulky if you do French seams. I've washed and worn this skirt loads of times and it's held up really well. It's lasted really nicely. So yeah, I really love this skirt. It always makes me happy with the large white sort of spots on it. I think it's quite jolly. So yeah, that is what I'm wearing today anyway. But I think I'll finish up here because I need to go and get some things together and head out to meet my sister now. So I will try and take you on a bit of our day out shopping. I'll take you on a little bit of my walk up to the station. I'll hopefully do a bit of videoing when we're in town as well. I'll see how I get on. So I'll leave you with that now, and then I'll catch up with you a little bit later in the day. So see you in a bit. Bye. well. And it's quite a lot later in the day here now. It's about 5 o'clock. And as you can see, after I got home, I had a shower and a hair wash. So I'm all freshened up and I've changed into some loungewear for the evening. I've got my trusty Jarrah sweatshirt on again. It's definitely one I'm reaching for quite a lot in this cooler weather to keep me nice and cozy. So yeah, I had a really nice time shopping with my sister. It was just quite a nice relaxed day. We picked up a couple of presents for my mum. We had a nice long lunch and we spent quite a lot of time nattering in a coffee shop as well. So it was just really nice to catch up. I didn't really buy much for myself. The only thing I got for myself, not very exciting, but I was actually quite pleased with them, was a couple of sets of socks. They're quite jolly, the stripy ones, then some neutral ones too. I feel like I needed some new socks, and it's obviously one of those things that's not easy to sew. And I've never tried knitting socks actually. I would like to give that a go. But in the meantime, these ones will do. So yeah, I picked those up for myself. So that was quite good. And we were quite lucky actually, we managed to avoid the rain. Well, there was a little bit of rain as we were walking around town, but it wasn't very heavy, it wasn't too bad. Unlike my husband and the children, they got caught in a proper downpour by the sound of it on the way back from church. I think they were fine getting to church, but on the way back, they got properly wet through apparently. So at the moment, all of their coats and shoes are all drying off in the airing cupboard. So yeah, a bit of a wet trip home. Luckily it isn't too far, but apparently in the short distance it is. They did get quite wet, so that was a bit of a shame for them, but we lucked out a bit more for the weather on our shopping trips. That was good. But yes, I haven't really had a chance to do much sewing this weekend. It's been busy. I'm hoping this evening to have a little bit of a sit down on the sofa and do a bit of crochet. I've been working on a crochet project which I need to share with you actually. I'm hoping to get it all finished and then I can share it. I might be able to finish it tonight, we'll see. So fingers crossed I might be able to share it tomorrow once it's all done. So yeah, I'm planning that, hopefully a bit of crafting this evening, but the sewing content will resume again tomorrow. I've definitely got some sewing time scheduled in this week. So yes, don't worry, there'll be more sewing tomorrow. But thank you very much for watching another day of my Vlogmas. I really appreciate you watching and liking and commenting and just generally following along. It makes it all worthwhile doing it. So thank you very much. And I'll look forward to seeing you again for day 11 tomorrow. That will be nearly halfway through Advent, which is, yeah, just mad how fast it's going. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me for another day and I will look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. So bye.